So when I went to Nashville, I went to some Latin dance classes, and that was put me at ease. I was more comfortable there, and as you can see, I saw a same-sex couple there, and I also went to a line dancing event, and one of the all the people there, there was like two men dancing together, and so that was interesting. Um, I was a bit nervous coming here because I didn't know what to expect. Like I did not know anything about Nashville when I came here. I just part of me assumed it was still like this tiny little uh, like country movie standoff type of thing with like sand on the ground and just one bar, and it's just a small town. But no, it's it's a small city. That's how you would describe it. And the farther out you get, it becomes more of a suburb. And I will say that I felt more comfortable knowing that there was some openness there, and um, I sometimes get anxious or self-conscious because I'm Asian, and being a straight Asian and everyone else there being white, it can be uncomfortable. You don't know if you're welcome. You don't know if they put a barrier in between you and them. But there were certain people there who were very friendly to me, and I did feel welcomed. So that was great. But I think speaking of like assessing cities, I am always assessing every city I visit as I go to it, as if as a place of whether I would settle down there long term. And with Nashville, the diversity part, I could potentially get over, but uh, I can't say it wouldn't be a little bit tough because um, I may have seen maybe 3 or 4 Asians out of the thousands of people I passed in my time there, or at least the few hundred. And on top of that, it was a place with that not much to do. Me being a flexible person, I think I I could live there in many other places if I had to, and I would have found some happiness. But I think it's subjective. So something that a lot of people would like about Nashville, I don't know if it would be big for me, like the live music or the country music. I am a fan, but I don't know if that would be like huge on my list, and I know it's huge on others. And then there's the whole bar and alcohol scene, and I think there's a misconception if you've never been there. I think there's the big strip honky tonk highway or honky tonk road, which has a bunch of bars lined up, but I'm told it's mostly tourists who go there. And each time I went there, I had to pay a large, well, not a large, but a hefty parking fee. So it was like a whole deal to go there. And then most people probably live outside of the city in more of a suburby area. So with that in mind, they would probably go to a more local bar. So it wouldn't be this line of bars and all these lights. And for me, I don't really drink much, so that's another thing. And so I personally would have probably gravitated to the Latin dance scene there, and I think that would have entertained me a decent amount, but it wasn't like a huge scene there. It was a prominent scene. I would call it that. And line dancing, it was fun, but these people loved line dancing. I don't know if I was as big a fan of that. I mean, I would do it maybe once a month. So, I think there were certain things there that I was surprised about. They had a FIRE meetup, which is like a financial independence meetup, and it was probably the most attendance I've ever seen at one. And there's also a Stoic meetup, which was great too. So yeah, I think I will keep it on my list, but I don't know if it would be the top of my list because it is still a small city. And so in terms of activities, they did run on the smaller side, and there were certain meetup groups that were nice, but I feel like, the they would start to get old relatively quickly. So yeah, I would have found happiness here, but there's probably some other things that are higher on my list.